Hi guys, welcome back to another video. So we've got two new champs coming in on Wednesday. So this is just a little run through of who they both are and what they do. So the first one, Shuri. Her main kit, she's a very strong defender. Shocks are sort of the main way to go. So you've got to create matrix charges. Matrix charges are bought by a parry, gives you 5 matrix charges and you want to get to 20. And then every hit on the opponent, this matrix charge is lost and it inflicts a shock and also does more damage to her opponents. And this is, really useful. It builds up a lot of shocks, and then these shocks are converted into precisions, and then these using her special one, and then these precisions build up her shock to critical shocks, which do more damage. Then you build up more precisions, which build up more shocks, and then these become critical shocks, and so on and so on, and that's sort of the way you want to go. And then you finally get to an SP2, and then that doubles the amount of shocks that you have, and then sort of go on back with the precisions, and then you finally build up so many that you move it to the SP3, and then that causes sort of direct damage, very similar to Gallon's Harvest and Quicksilver's Whiplash. So those obviously do a lot of large direct damage, very similar to this. She also has a lot of utility on defense, so she's a very strong defensive champion. It's sort of the way you want to go with it. A lot of blocks, a lot of parries, that builds up those matrix charges. And then become shocks, and then precision, so on, so you can do that big damage. She also has a vibranium defense, so that's sort of her strong armor, I think very similar to Killmonger, and then these matrix charges allow her to build up her armor ups more, so she also becomes very strong. And then if she has her signature ability Awaken, she also becomes unblockable on special attacks. She can block special attacks that are unblockable from other people. So people like Kitty Pryde has the unblockable special attacks, or Nimrod sometimes, or Bishop. So very useful in sort of battlegrounds to take on those strong defenders, or also put her on defense so that people, when attacking with people like Bishop, they can't have easy damage from the special attacks. Her kit also comes with strong utility as well, like as we said with the sort of defense and the direct damage shocks. She's immune to shock and ability accuracy alterations. People like Archangel can't sort of do a lot of damage or can't change her ability accuracy, which is very useful. Sort of similar to what will come on with Attuma, where they're both against each other, would actually be really interesting, as sort of she can't be ability accuracy changed, or she can't have it changed, and he needs to change it almost, which I'll sort of explain later when we get onto the Attuma breakdown. So overall, she seems like she would be a really good champion. So going back through sort of the precision buffs, increase the shock, so matrix charges. The way I'd sort of play her is parry 4 times to get 20 matrix charges, then hit the opponent 20 times to get shocks. Throw your SP1 to convert these into precisions to increase the shocks, then get your SP2 and throw that and it doubles the amount of shocks, and then get your SP3, and then that causes sort of large direct mass damage, similar to, like we said, Gallon and Quicksilver, which should hopefully take the opponent out a lot quicker and do a lot more damage, and helps you sort of get through those those challenges bosses on sort of Act 6 like I'm on right now, where you want to try and take them out as quickly as possible to sort of get away from the annoying nodes and all the bits like that. So let me know what you think of Shuri. Do you think she'll be a pretty good champion? Do you not? I'd like to hear what you have to say in sort of the comments about her. I think she'll be really useful. I think she'll be a really good defender, and I think she'll be good, very similar to, as I've said now 3 or 4 times, to those champions that do a lot of damage, which will, means you can do lots of damage to take out the opponents easily and get through those acts easier. So, we'll move on to Attuma now. And Attuma's kit is very strange. It's almost a bit of a backwards one. So he seems very similar to Korg, sort of going through it. He has thorns built in with his sort of strong skin, as it's sort of built. It says he has strong skin, so he sort of has the thorns built in, as I've said, so that will reflect some damage, which is really good. His kit is very backwards, as I said, because his trademark ability is sort of the ability accuracy is reversed. So if he has 100%, it's 100%. But if he has 50%, he then has 150%. So, it depends. So he actually builds a lot of concussions on himself, which is, very strange. He sort of converts hydration, which he gets from hitting the opponent and doing heavy attacks. These heavy attacks then create hydration. These hydration then turn into concussions, which, very similar to Shuri in his SP2, all the concussions become big damage in bleed debuffs or chance debuffs, and it's sort of a very similar champion, a very good defender. So it's listed as sort of a strong 5-star defender there. So he is going to be really good at that. He sort of has an evade and auto block counter because his special one gives him a true accuracy or true strike. So that allows you to get past the annoying people like sort of Nightcrawler in the most recent battlegrounds. He also is stun immune, which is really good. So that's sort of built in. A heavy attack purifies anything that is on him. But if you get stunned, that purify triggers immediately and gets rid of the stun. However, a passive stun, as it says there, is something that can hinder this, and it will stun him. So that can be really annoying. He also has 25% regeneration compared to every other champion's 100% regeneration. So although he has lots of hydration boost concussions, this won't create loads of willpower due to him sort of only getting a regeneration rate a quarter of every other champion's. Really strange, sort of says at the bottom there, his base regeneration rate is 25% instead of the usual 100%. So that is really strange and sort of means you won't get that large willpower. Which also sort of, when I saw him in the spotlight, looked like, lots of that, sort of, you get through those big bosses because he regenerates a lot of health through willpower, but obviously that isn't the case. His kit overall looks really good. It looks like he will be a really strong defender. That hydration looks like, if it sort of is converted into bleeds, looks like it will be really useful. Obviously, that's sort of yet to see. But I feel like he'll be a really good champ and very similar to Shuri. I think Shuri will be the better of the two, but that's just sort of my opinion on it. And we'll see once they fully get into game and you sort of see the big accounts playing with them. Just to recap, so you've got those hydrations that are created, and then the SP1 but allows him to come true strike, and then sort of the hydration buffs are converted into concussions from the heavy attack, and then those concussions allow him to do more damage because obviously it reverses his ability accuracy, so he does a lot more damage with concussions on. And then these concussions are turned into big damage in his SP2, sometimes to convert to bleed or other triggers, and that allows him to do a lot of damage sort of almost instantly. And he sort of benefits from these big bleeds and sort of an unstoppable that is also in his kit. Again, I think he'll be a really good champion. I think he'll be a really solid defender, and again, it'll be interesting to see what he's like when he comes out. Let me know if you want to see this one for another video like this, or if you want to see more of this. If you like it, please let me know in the comments. It'd be really, really appreciated. I've sort of said about a tier list. I sort of went and created that earlier, so that video will be up soon. If you want to see that, these champions won't be added onto it because obviously I won't have had enough time to sort of digest how good they are and if they're useful. But fingers crossed that they are, and